and God the mind, being male and female both, as light and life subsisting, brought forth another mind to give things form, who, God, as he was of fire and spirit, formed 7 rulers who enclosed the cosmos that senses perceive. Men call their ruling fate, Poimandres. Greetings, mortals! It is yet another day in this mysterious world, full of unseen forces, where the unexplainable occurs daily. I am your host, Simeon, here to unravel that which can be felt and experienced, yet which words simply will not fully grasp. This is the Library of Gnosis. Welcome! Some traditions refer to the planets as Archons, deriving from the Greek political word for ruler or lord. In Gnostic traditions, they are seen as planetary spirits that govern the material world, forces that keep the soul tethered to the physical realm, enforcing the seemingly fixed laws of fate, time, and materiality. They represent the structure and cycles that appear to control our lives from the outside. The inevitability of time, the patterns of destiny, and the physical laws we must obey. But this is only half the truth. The great Hermetic maxim reminds us, as above, so below, as within, so without. They fell in love with him, and gave him each a share of his own ordering. And after that, he had well learned their essence, and had become a sharer in their nature. He showed to downward nature God's fair form, and when he gazed upon what the informer had created in the Father, man too wished to inform. And so ascent was given him by the Father, changing his state to the formative sphere. In that he was to have his whole authority. He gazed upon his brother's creatures. They fell in love with him, and gave him each a share of his own ordering. And after that, he had well learned their essence, and had become a sharer in their nature. He had a mind to break right through the boundary of the spheres, and to subdue the might of that which is pressed upon the fire. So he who hath the whole authority over all the mortals in the cosmos, and over its lives irrational, bent his face downwards through the harmony, breaking right through its strength, and showed to downward nature God's fair form. And when she saw that form of beauty, which can never satiate, and him who now possessed within himself each single energy of all 7 rulers, as well as God's own form, she smiled with love. For 'twas as though she had seen the image of man's fairest form upon her water, his shadow on her earth, he in his turn beholding the form like to himself, existing in her water, loved it and willed to live in it. And with the will came act, and so he vivified the form devoid of reason. And nature took the object of her love and wound herself completely around him. And they were intermingled, for they were lovers. And this is why beyond all creatures on the earth, man is twofold. Mortal because of body, but because of the essential man, immortal. Through deathless and possessed of sway over all, yet doth he suffer as a mortal doth, subject to fate. Thus, though above the harmony, within the harmony he hath become a slave. And though he's sleepless from a sleepless sire, yet is he overcome by sleep. Thereon I say, teach on, O mind of me, for I myself am amorous of the word logos. The shepherd said, this is the mystery kept hid until this day. Nature embraced by man brought forth a wonder, oh so wonderful. For as he had the nature of the concord of the seven, who, as I said to thee, were made of fire and spirit, nature delayed not, but immediately brought forth 7 men in correspondence with the natures of the 7, male, female, and moving in the air. Thereon I said, O shepherd, for now I'm filled with great desire, and long to hear. Do not run off. The shepherd said, keep silence, for not as yet have I unrolled for thee the first discourse, logoi. Lo, I am still, I said. In such wise, then, as I have said, the generation of these 7 came to pass. Earth was a woman, her water filled with longing. Ripeness she took from fire, spirit from aether. Nature thus brought forth frames to suit the form of man. And man from light and life changed into soul and mind. From life to soul, from light to mind, and thus continued all the sense world's parts until the period of their end and new beginnings. Poimandres. The share given by each ruler is the source of humanity's earthly nature, its passions, its mortal body, its subjection to fate. If planets are archons up there, then they also exist within you as psychological and spiritual forces. They are not just distant balls of gas and rock, but the archetypal energies that shape your inner world. Mars is not just the red planet, It is your aggression, drive, and will to act. Venus is your capacity for love, beauty, and connection. Jupiter is your optimism and search for meaning. Saturn, the great malefic, the classic Archon. That is your internal disciplinary, your fears, your boundaries, and your sense of responsibility. The Archons, then, are not just external tyrants. They are the fundamental energies that constitute your own psyche. You are a microcosm, perfectly reflecting the macrocosm. The infinite expanse of the heavens likewise dwells within man. If you were to fall inside of yourself, then you would never reach the bottom. This leads us to the central paradox. Limitation. Yes, these forces limit you, but creation itself requires boundaries. Without them, everything would unite into one undifferentiated pool or sludge. This sludge is the formless, unmanifest potential, the prima materia or cosmic soup. It is everything and nothing, the source of all things, yet within it, nothing specific can exist. There is no distinction, no form, no identity. A river needs banks to be a river. Without them, it is just a flood. A song needs a structure of notes and rhythm to be music. Without it, it is just noise. A soul needs a body and a personality. Shaped by these inner and outer planetary forces to have a unique experience. Without them, it merges back into the one pool. The limitations are not a prison in the purely negative sense. They are the scaffolding of reality. They provide the resistance necessary for life to take shape and for consciousness to have a focused, individual experience. Nowhere is this creative tension more evident than in the planets traditionally labeled malefic, a term originating from the Latin male, badly, and fic, to do, meaning harm doer. In traditional astrology, Saturn is the great malefic, and Mars is the lesser malefic. They are the primary agents of boundary creation, the cosmic sculptors, but they work through very different methods. Saturn's harm comes through restriction, delay, cold, and contraction. It is the force that says no, the boundary, the immovable wall that enforces time, limits, and the weight of responsibility. The lead which all sinks into. It is the skeleton of reality. Without it, everything collapses. But its rigid structure can feel like a prison. It teaches through deprivation and hard lessons. It is the lord of structure, time, and the very foundations of the physical world. Saturn, Satan, is the cosmic taskmaster who makes creation possible. As the alchemists say, Saturn is the father of the sun. Mars's harm comes through conflict, aggression, heat, and separation. It is the force that cuts and divides. It creates boundaries by drawing lines in the sand and defending them with force. It is the energy that says me versus you. While necessary for individuation and survival, its raw, unchanneled energy can lead to violence. It teaches through pain and direct confrontation. To call these forces evil is to miss the point entirely. They describe the challenging, painful, and difficult experiences these planets bring. From a human perspective, these experiences feel harmful. But from a soul growth perspective, they are the potent forces that shape, refine, and define us. The malefics are the chisels and hammers that sculpt the marble. Without Saturn's contraction, the sludge has no form. Without Mars's cut, it cannot be separated into individual forms. The highest expression of Mars is the force that cuts and divides. Senseless violence on one level, but on a higher octave, this act of cutting is the very essence of discernment and justice. Mars is not only aggression, it is also justice. Justice requires separation. It is the ability to cut through ambiguity to determine what is true and what is false, who is innocent and who is guilty. The sword of Mars is not just a weapon of war. It is the sword of truth and the blade of the executioner. The ultimate enforcement of societal and cosmic law. This is the difference between unconscious rage and righteous anger. Unconscious Mars is pure aggression, manifesting as bullying and chaos, but conscious Mars? It is the fire that rises up when we witness an innocent being harmed. It is the protective instinct, the mother bear attacking a threat to her cub. She is not evil. She is the agent of natural justice, defending the innocent. In this sense, Mars is the warrior for the weak. Justice is the act of restoring balance. When one party takes too much through greed or oppression, Mars is the force that comes to cut them down to size. This is the principle of karma in its most immediate form. If the sludge of injustice builds up, Mars provides the lightning bolt that shocks the system back into balance. Mars rules heat and dryness, and true justice requires the heat of conviction and the dryness of decisiveness. A judge must have the mortal courage to hand down a sentence, to make a cut that cannot be unmade. Mars does not just start fights, he finishes them by ensuring the right outcome prevails. He is the Archon of consequence in the immediate moment, the force that says, "You have crossed the line, and now the line will hold." The moon is my left eye, the sun my right. Saturn, the soul of my soul. Mercury, its living spirit, likewise. For Mercury to transcend limits, limits must first be put in place. Saturn then acts as Mercury's necessary shadow, the yang to Mercury's yin, required for creation to take place. Mercury is seen in alchemy as the spiritus, or mind, the head, the closest planet to the light of the sun. Saturn is the symbolic foot on the other end, being the furthest out of the classical planets from the light. This duality mirrors the human body in the heavens. As above, so below. This is Jesus and Yahweh, with Yahweh representing the ego or separation, the stubborn donkey that Jesus or the Logos rode in on, representing the higher self or the good mind. Paracelsus thought that every human was a sleeping angel whose true form never left the celestial realms, and that true freedom lived in man's mind, that it was his sanctum sanctorum, or holiest of holies, and by ascending the spiritus or mind towards the heavens, would allow the mind to act at a distance, and that by ascending the spiritus or mind towards the heavens allows the mind to act at a distance, like the sun which shines through glass. Ultimately, the goal is not to destroy the Archons, the malefics, or the limitations they impose. They are the vessels that hold the wine of existence, preventing it from dissolving back into the undifferentiated sludge of pure potential. The goal is to understand them, to harmonize them within yourself, and to recognize that you are both the clay and the potter, the limited self and the limitless consciousness that uses limitation for its own creative purposes. So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smootheth with the hammer him that smote the anvil, saying, "It is ready for the soldering," and he fastened it with nails, that it should not be moved. And now, as we near the necessary limit, or the Saturnian part of this video, if you made it this far, then I want you to write "no bank, no river" in the comments below, so I know you did. These broadcasts take a lot of time, not only to produce, but also to research. It is hard-fought wisdom you can enjoy for free. So, if you would like to support me on my perilous journey of bringing that which is above down to earth with discernment, then please feel free to send me a donation via PayPal or Super Chat, or simply sign up for my Patreon. I have also started selling shirts with my designs, so check those out if you feel so inclined. Just recently created a new design with the Lord's Prayer on top of the Knights Templar flag. And as always, thank you for listening. Yes, I am talking specifically to you listening. Thank you. And I will see you mortals in the next one. Godspeed and safe travels. Dios Vult.